We are underway then in the first men's épée semi-final here at the Rhine-Ruhr 2025 World University Games. These two fencing for a place in the gold medal match and a chance to compete for the title. If you're new to fencing, this is épée, the easiest weapon to understand. The whole body's target. You've got to hit your opponent with the tip of your sword. And it is the first one to hit that gets the score. There's no right of way or need for a referee to decide who has the priority. It is also the only weapon where both fencers can score a hit at the same time. If you hit your opponent within 0.02 of a second of them hitting you, you'll also score a point, and that's called a double. And there is also another rule that not completely specific to épée, but comes up more often than not, and that's passivity. A minute without any fencing, and we get a call for passivity, and here it is. So no hit scored within a minute. Both fencers are given a warning. This is obviously to encourage a little bit more action, because in épée, you need caution, but we also need to see people going for hits. We get another one of those. It's called a P red card, a passivity red card, and both fencers will be penalised. Their opponents both getting a hit. Now at 0-0, that means it will go to 1-1. And then, if we then have a third occasion of passivity, the fight is stopped, and the higher ranked fencer progresses. Looking at the world rankings, which I believe is what they're using for this competition. GUROV on the left is the world number 135 at senior level. ShvelidzE is the world number 254. And it'll be ShvelidzE that will feel the pressure if passivity continues here. But there is a beauty of a hit to foot, demonstrating that indeed the whole body is target in épée. Now, épée is a cautious weapon at the best of times, but these two know each other really well. They would have trained together ahead of this competition, and so they'll know each other's strengths and weaknesses. It's all about tricking your opponent into doing something you want them to do, and that is just what ShvelidzE has done there. A couple of fake attacks, trying to lure out his opponent, pinned him to the back line to create this hit as well. Ooh, that was a little risky. The taller man getting very close in distance, but able to get hold of his opponent's blade long enough to land his attacking action. Oh, nicely done. Now, I don't think he fully expected to score that hit, but this is all about training. This is all about muscle memory. And ShvelidzE got his hand back into the standard on-guard position, in position 6 it's called. And because he got it there, GUROV was still trying to get his hand back, and effectively he put his target onto his opponent's sword. So time will run out in this first period, and despite scoring first, ShvelidzE has come back at GUROV and scored 3 of his own. This is the beauty of a hit onto the wrist. And actually, on that replay, I think he did intend to do it. Keeping his eye on the position, his hand moves up a couple of times, and there, the little flick feint. Apologies, Dmitrii. Thought you'd been given a bit of a freebie there, but you made that hit all by yourself. And that is the third of 3 consecutive hits, having gone 1-0 down. ShvelidzE finds himself in the box seat. Passivity now, if it comes into play in the second period, won't work well for Kirill GUROV. GUROV has got to start making moves here. We could see ShvelidzE just playing it a little cautious here. He won't mind passivity being called because he's got the lead. The higher ranked fencer will go through on passivity if the scores are tied, but Shvelidzes negated that problem. Oh dear, oh dear. Now you don't want to get into distance in any weapon in fencing and have your point in the air like that. It just opens up the target to your opponent. That was a little casual from Shvelidzes, and he'll know it. And perhaps that will just make him think twice about going on the all-out attack here. Beauty. That was a lovely hit. Picked up the blade with the first action. This is Shvelidzes on the right. Picks up the blade with the first action and then flicks with the second. That's beautiful stuff. So now, as Gurov has to consider going out on the attack when the shot clock, the passivity clock starts running up, he's opening himself up. If you're forced into attacking, your opponent can easily predict what you're going to do. Very unorthodox attempt from Shvelidzes. We've seen that a couple of times where he goes high and wide with his sword hand, trying to flick around the guard of his opponent. And Gurov was just waiting for him to do that this time. Well, Gurov tried for that hit to foot again. That was how he scored his first hit, but Shvelidzes was ready for that. And the taller man just reaching over the top. Passivity could come into play here. We're inside 20 seconds. And Gurov is doing really well here with this approach. He's just stepping into distance, keeping his hand just neat and tidy in the right place, right in front of his hand, right pointing at his opponent's lower wrist. And he's just getting to the right distance before he's launching an attack. We've got big blade movements from Shvelidzes, and Gurov has clocked that. He thinks that basically his route to target is a direct one. I'm going to let time run out here. Shvelidzes is happy to stay with a two-hit lead, but that is a good period of fencing from Kirill Gurov. He has closed the gap, but more than that, he's found a route through to his opponent. Far from over this one, but Shvelidzes leads by 6 points to 4. And look at that wide hand from Shvelidzes, and Gurov able just to disengage his opponent's blade. That basically means he just moves his sword so Shvelidzes can't get hold of it, and then just go straight to target. I'm going to see a lot more of this, and Shvelidzes has got to be thinking he's got to keep that hand and wrist and elbow all in line. He can't go for these wild shots around the outside anymore. So he's just opening himself up. Third and final period of the first men's EPEE semi-final here at Rhein-Ruhr 2025. Two neutral athletes against each other, and a double touch begins this third period. Nice, very nice. So he's altered what he's doing here, ShvelidzE. Gets his hand up into the right position, and he's now going direct to target. So he's adapted finally, and he reopens a 3-point lead. Oh, the first one didn't land there for Gurov, but again, a wild, big blade movement from ShvelidzE. Gave Gurov the opportunity to hit with the second touch. Big hand movements. Your point is too far away from your opponent's target for too long. You need to keep these blade movements really tight and neat and small, just like that. So we know he can do it, ShvelidzE. For the third time, ShvelidzE finds himself 3 points up in this match. He's certainly not orthodox, but more and more these days in EPEE, fencers bring their own personality, their own style, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. ShvelidzE now 4 points up, and the clock is ticking away here. We're going to have just 2 minutes left. And that is not a huge amount of time to build 4 hits in EPEE. At some point, Gurov is going to have to get a little bit more intense, and it's starting to look like he's decided he's going to have to go for this. And like I say, this plays into the hands of the leading fencer, because they can just sit there, be patient, and play what we call the doubles game. Given the fact that ShvelidzE is that much taller, has that much longer a reach, the doubles game is going to be very favorable for him. Every time Gurov gets close, ShvelidzE just rams his hand out, and more often than not, he's getting the single lights now. So what was a very, very tight match, purely because Gurov was trailing, has now opened right up. And if you look at the scorecard at the end, you think, oh, that's a nice, easy fight for ShvelidzE, but he's had to work very hard to get into this position. And very likely to get to the target score of 15 now. So, if you look at the context of the match, 6 hits scored by ShvelidzE in the first 2 periods, and he scored 7, and we're only, well, 2/3 of the way through the third period. You can see how an EPEE match builds. Oh, very, very unlucky for Gurov there. He got away with the first one, and then because he ducked, he was a bit stuck to the floor there and couldn't get closer to his opponent. A 6th consecutive hit. Wow. The rot is stopped, but only momentarily, you think, though, as Gurov just goes for the straight and simple direct flash. Called a flash because you look like an arrow when you're flying through the air. So ShvelidzE can just be patient and wait it out. These hits are great for Gurov, but he is a long way off still. And we're inside 1 minute of fencing. And there it is. The predictive nature that Gurov found himself in, 2 behind at the beginning of the third period, meant he had to start attacking, and that becomes predictable for Shvelidze, and Shvelidze takes what looks like a very comfortable victory, but he had to work very hard for it. He'll go through to the men's épée gold medal match here in Essen. And in the end, you have to say, Shvelidze, out that last action, did tighten up those big blade movements that we saw from him early on, and kept his hand in line with his opponent a lot more. Kirill Gurov then having to settle for the bronze medal here. As you can see, a run of 9 hits from Shvelidze in the third period took him to a 15-8 victory.